evening, and welcome everyone to episode 2 of Summer League Now, your official resource for covering all of the SM64 Summer League. I'm here again with Padronis.
You're still really quiet. Hello though. What's up, everybody? We are getting into the second episode, second half of the initial preview of the teams participating in the league, and a little bit more forward thinking and predictions about what might happen in the league as it progresses. So this should be a good one.
It should
Beat
be.
Up has a couple things that like we'll go over in the show. I don't know if you want to give them an outline or anything, or if you just want to start
Yeah,
going as it is. And
all right, yeah, I think we can just start with a brief outline of the show and then dive right into it. Should be a shorter show than last time for everyone. We did a solid 80 minutes last time, so GG's to us. But
nice.
how's my audio levels? I understand I'm maybe having
I
some
think
issues.
it's better. I mean, let me check the Twitch stream.
Cool.
Talk again.
Okay, yeah, no, I think I just adjusted the mic, and I think that is a lot better. So, if I have any troubles with my mic, please in chat let me
That's
know.
better. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
better.
So first we're going to do some news and updates from just around the league and just around the community in general. So I got kind of a list of updates we can go over because there's a lot happening in the community right now. SM64, there's a lot of excitement with Mario right now. So we'll go over some of that, and then we'll dive right into the team previews again. We'll cover the today we're covering the second half of the league. So we'll cover 8 teams, take a little intermission, have some fun, short little break, and then we'll cover the last 8 teams of the league, and then we'll wrap up the show with some predictions and just kind of things to watch out for the rest of the summer league because our next episode will be live from Pace. That's going to be quite a ways away, or it's actually getting sooner, closer and closer, but it's still over about 2 weeks away. So uh,
That doesn't sound like long at all. I'm so excited though. Pace is great, and it's in 2 weeks, two
yeah,
and a half weeks.
Pace is in 2.5 weeks, which is a long time in league time. It's over a quarter of the league,
Yeah.
so certainly. So we'll try to get that going. Without further ado, let's dive into some news and updates here. And I had a list of them. I was just trying to gather some from around the kind of SM64 community. First, I want to point out that Bailey and Emmy Bella are going to have a booth at Pace. Bailey, I think everyone knows in the community for the controllers and the awesome controller store. Emmy Bella is going to be, yes, having controllers for sale there, and Bailey will be working more on carts and custom stuff. We'll also have some box stuff there, so if you're looking for any of that, you'll be at Pace. Definitely be on the lookout for Bailey and Emmy Bella.
Yeah, so
Um,
Emmy is like part Japanese, and she was in Japan like a month or two ago. And if you go to Japan, you can find like a lot more authentic Nintendo stuff at um you know lower prices because a lot of that's made in Japan and gets sent to America. So she was in like a controller store, and they're just like, I don't know, lots of controllers, and I would assume
I,
she'll have a pretty good selection. So that's pretty cool to hear.
yeah, hopefully.
And for
So
Bailey as well, that'll be nice.
yeah, yeah. So definitely look out for
I
that.
need some button pads. I think I was actually gonna ask if anyone was selling button pads at Pace. Maybe I'll ask Bailey.
Yeah, I feel like everyone needs button pads. That's a hot commodity. So, cool.
Except Zoopy. If you went to last pace, if you if you went to last pace and you tried Zoopy's controller, you know exactly what I mean. If you're going to pace this time, do yourself a favor. Press Zoopy's A button on his controller and just just kind of experience that sensation because
Uh,
it is quite disturbing.
I have a to-do list for Pace, and that wasn't on it until you mentioned it. So I'll go ahead and add that. So go ahead, moving on for another update. I just saw that Cool Cat Gang is launching their pro leagues for, I believe, Odyssey and SM64 this weekend on their YouTube channel. I believe they're streaming to YouTube, moving from Twitch. So that should be exciting. Go give them some support. I know everyone here loves more professional Mario, so that should be fun to see. And it looks like I think the matches are happening during league, so it should all be good for league points as well, I imagine. So go give them some support, and especially I'm curious to see how YouTube works as a streaming platform. Even if you prefer Twitch or want to stick around Twitch, it's definitely good to give Twitch some competition. So let's see. This will be a good experiment. So shout outs to Saren for giving that a try.
Yeah, agreed. I think with Twitch right now, it's in a fairly difficult place, but there is some competition. And I think it's good that competition is kind of resurfacing after it would look pretty monopolized after the death of Mixer. So, I mean, there's always been YouTube, but at least um, it's Twitch, YouTube, and a couple like small ones now that are kind of competing for viewership and stuff. And I
Right,
think,
right.
you've seen from a lot of the stuff lately that Twitch just said, well, we own the market, so we'll do whatever the heck we want now. So, now they've been trying to profit. And yeah, and much to the dismay of a lot of viewers for some of the things that they've been implementing. So,
Yep, yep.
where people were able to get like kind of like the on-stream branding stuff like reverted and stuff. So I don't know, like having the competition means that there is actually some leverage that
Exactly.
community can push Twitch to do stuff
It
or
really
not
is
do
the
stuff.
only leverage I think people have is that there's got to be some competition out there. So,
But
uh,
yeah, go support Saren
yeah, no,
because
exactly. This is going to be a great
he's
chance to go
Saren. But
support
also,
Saren.
if you're interested in watching a YouTube stream or whatever, you might find that it's actually a better player than Twitch
Yeah,
because you can actually pause and rewind, and I like to do that.
yeah, and they have
So
some
there you go.
experience with it. So yeah, I know some streamers, some non-gaming streamers who use it. And, I have some thoughts, but we can move on. That's not what this
Yeah,
episode
we
is
can move
about.
on. But
So
I
um,
like that you brought up a Cool Cat game.
yes, yes. Speaking of other tourneys, Zayas 44 has a tourney, a 70 tourney starting next month. I believe signups are already closed for that. It's already filled up. It's a 32-person tournament. I believe they're all going to be running 70, and it's a PB range, I believe, from 52 to 56, 53 to 57, somewhere around that range. So I think you'll see a lot of players you don't see, like in, for example, my tournament right now, which has a lot of pretty good PB players. This is kind of a different PB range, and so I'm really excited to see what Zayas can do. Zayas, of course, did the tourney last year, and it was a huge success. So this is the second annual Zayas Summer Tournament. So looking forward
Nice.
to see that. That starts after Pace. I believe it starts next July, so or in about a month from now. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and Maxwell Murder in the chat here, if you happen to watch a YouTube VOD or whatever, says 53 to 59.
Excellent.
So, yeah, a pretty wide range, but more toward the beginner level, and it should be a great way for a lot of those people who are in the league to earn some points as well by practicing and doing runs for that tournament.
Excellent. Absolutely. And we have
So,
one last tournament mention here is that
oh,
Markinators
I thought we were I thought I was segueing it like really smoothly,
Really?
but go ahead.
No, no. It's just I wanted to shout out Marketeer's Mario Sunday. He has a Mario task this week, and it is Bob. So go into BOB and see what you can do with the task. I believe it's the same thing he's done in previous ones, where there's six different things to do in the level, kind of spread out. So there's lots of good chance for routing, lots of good chance to kind of be the one that discovers the optimal route there, because I don't think anything is particularly obvious. So definitely go check that one out.
Yeah, talking to Mark personally, he's excited for the BOB one, just because he thinks it'll be a good stage for it. I remember I did a task like 2 years ago, maybe even longer than 2 years ago, but it was like Cereal Box and C. Chris doing it, and they had a BOB task, and I think that was one of my favorites. So give Mark some love, and
Absolutely.
it is in the Discord. I think it's tweeted. I might just check the the Markinator Twitter.
I believe, yeah, he
Mark,
tweets them there, so definitely.
I admire the hustle. He's pretty good about like putting his stuff out there. So
Absolutely, I believe he's
you can
moving.
guarantee that he's got his stuff readily available on the socials. And
Absolutely, and
here it is
also
in the chat.
Markinator is
If
moving
anyone
this
wants to
week,
sign up.
so shout outs to them for just being able to toss this on while also having the stress of packing and moving. So
Yeah, he said like, yeah, I forget what we were saying, but he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and I'm moving. I'm like, wow, like across states. I don't know what state he's in currently, but
yeah, I'm not sure. So
he's moving from a state to another state.
exactly, so that's stressful. So shout outs to Markinator. Hope the move is going well. We will see you Sunday. Just a few more announcements here, and then we'll get on to the go ahead and go over to our overview of teams. Um, So Elisa in the community, I think everyone here is familiar with Elisa, or if you're
Smash.
not, um, has a hour of practice every week where she takes signups for lessons to teach, and basically we'll go through. And I believe it's at 8 a.m. Pacific, so it's 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern on Sundays. So you can go in and try to get some practice from someone who's really good at the game, get some like hands-on practice. I think is really good. She's looking for signups. So if you go ahead and look at her channel, look at the Discord, there's a whole channel there which describes how to sign up. It's just a Google Doc. You describe what strat you're having trouble with in 16 or 70. Great resource. I think people should really take advantage of.
That's
And
super sick.
yeah, no, absolutely. Lisa, also my team captain on the Mighty Fucks. Shout out Mighty Fucks, represent. So, uh, yeah, it's called Hour of the
And,
Pracky. So, ADR has the details in chat right now. So, definitely, if you're interested in learning anything, and specifically if there's anything that's like causing you fear or something, she wants to help you there. So, uh, I would definitely take advantage of that. Um,
and I appreciate you saying the mighty fuck, so that way I know that there's no language filter
there,
we're trying to hit with the podcast.
there's no language filter we're trying to hit, but we can
I mean,
discuss that.
apart from the common etiquette, but yeah, I was
Exactly.
just gonna say like the Elisa stuff is really good. I've been um I think like after Pace we kind of talked to a lot of the people there about kind of creating a practice server. It exists. It doesn't really get used too often, but I think voice calls where you are actively practicing with another person are way more effective than time you'll spend on your own. At least like to spend some of your time practicing. If another person's willing to watch you and help you, that's like really cool. And I was gonna say that Elisa made a pretty awesome moving reds like tutorial on our Teach Me Something showcase that was like a month or two ago.
Right,
And
right.
that is also on the BDEF YouTube if you want
Oh,
to check that out.
that
Um,
segues perfectly into what I was going to say is that if you're a fan of Club 100 previous tournaments and events, we've uploaded basically all of them that we've done in the past year or two to the YouTube channel, including the Teach Me Something showcase, where Elisa Tabaskoth and it's been so long, there were a few others there,
I
gave
mean, I didn't, but
excellent.
I think
Yeah, you also
we had a
hosted it
couple people who
though.
signed up
you,
but
you,
weren't able to actually present, which kind of sucked. But
uh,
Taviscott's demo was absolutely amazing. Um, and the rest were all pretty good too. Jay Waterman did like stick maintenance and something like that.
Yep, yep.
So
So yeah, definitely check
yeah.
that out. And spoiler alert, there'll be another Teach Me Something showcase coming after League is over. I want to give people a little time to breathe after League, so but look out for that. All right, and last update before I think we can move on is PSA. Please add your Twitch username to your speedruns.com profile. That helps me keep track of all the streams that are live and all the runners in the league who are going live on Twitch, and that's how I have my tool, the PacePal Buddy, uh, know who's active. So definitely,
Yeah.
please, please, please add your Twitch account. You just edit profile, and there's a spot for Twitch, and you just put in your username, and just make sure that's updated and have it there. And it makes my life a lot easier. I don't have to hunt down people trying to
Oh
update
my
all this
God, the
data. So,
URL is bit.ly/pacepal. I didn't even realize
oh
that
yeah,
that's
oh
beautiful.
yeah, I've snuck the good URLs this year. So uh, definitely, definitely, please keep your data updated there. It makes the PacePal Buddy way more useful for everyone. So. All right, I think
Cool.
we have all our news and updates out of the way. Thanks for sitting through that
Yeah,
and enjoying
thank
all the
you.
updates.
Also, I don't know if the people watching, if you like the around the scene updates or if you're just like win league stuff. I don't know. Let us know if
Y-
that's actually
Right, yeah,
useful information to hear from us about other
exactly.
things around the community or not.
But I know Lana has been waiting for this moment for a few days now. Moving on to our draft review and team summary. Likely Lana's team, the Tipsy Tuxies. And shout out to Saxdale for hooking me up with the Google Sheet that had the players listed in the draft order and the team logos here. So that's an upgrade we have from last stream.
Okay.
Do you want to take us over
Oh
the
yeah,
draft
we were
order?
talking about Orlana was talking about being the last or the first one not on the previous episode. Sucks for Lana, but let's talk about the team. Yeah.
Well, let's take us over like we did last
Actually,
time with the draft order. So let's go over the team. I think Lana, the captain, Soda picked in the first round, followed by Nils, It's Me, Corey, Maxwell Murder 87, uh, Scliff Bartoni, Dissa, Intermediation, Hasselhoffman 68, Dudney, Sabotage 27, Sir Please Stop, Form Frame, Regen, and followed by lastly Regen 01.
hey. Yeah, I mean, we can see this team. There's a few decent picks here. Soda round one pick, I think is gonna have to do a lot of lifting. With the 120 in particular. Only Soda and Corey have sub 2 hour 120 PBs that kind of jumps out, and only Soda with a sub 50 and 70. So you'll get like more of the lump sum bonuses if you're Soda. But the most important thing is having people who are going to be active.
Right,
Um,
right.
for instance, Sabotage, he is someone I met at Pace. He's kind of from the area. So I think because it's like the Pace season and he's around, like I think he'll definitely play, get some PBs.
Right, and I'll say,
Also Hoffman,
I,
he's kind of like an Emmy Bella chat exclusive, but
I was just gonna say is speaking of people that are active, I specifically chose Likely Lana in my fantasy team because I saw her planning for like what her plans were for league, what goals she wanted to get done over the summer. I was like,
okay.
that's someone who's motivated, who wants to get stuff done, and who's talented. You're definitely going on my fantasy team, so I was really excited. And keep in mind, this Tipsy Tuxies is currently in second place in the league standings right now, so they are blowing other teams out of the water.
That
it,
is
it,
actually insane. I didn't even look at the top of the board.
Yes, yes,
So
it's
it's like
it's it's actually
right at
outstanding,
the
and it's
top.
still early in the league. You still got a lot of time, and these things, easy, low hanging fruits at the beginning. But they're blowing everyone out of the water right now, except for the wholesome chunguses.
And I think that's a really great sign for them though, because like 37,000 points already, like some teams probably won't even hit 37,000. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will, but maybe everyone will. But I would guess that that will actually be a trend and they'll be a top team for most of the season there. So that is really, really sick
Yes,
from Lake Ilana. So honestly, now that I can see that point total, I have to say hats off to this draft. Clearly, yeah, clearly a lot of new who to get.
and the other thing I'll point out about this display, again, shout out Saxdale, shout out Mods for just the excellent Google Sheets, is that you can see the contrast. If the PB is highlighted on this screen, it means they PB during league. So look at Likely Lana there with the PBs in 120, 70, 16, and 1 star.
Okay, I did not realize that was the highlight,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So that's what the highlight
Ilana doing
means.
heavy lifting here.
Heavy
So
lifting here, and I
good
believe
job
with
on the
yeah,
fantasy pick.
thank you, thank you. So, uh, shout out Solana, huge fan. I believe was grinding DDD skip today. So maybe we'll see a 0 star PB as well. So
Mhm.
excellent. So we can move on to
Currently, I look at the player standings. We have three in the top 20 from Lana's team. Lana's in 20th, Soda's in 18th, and Sir Please Stop is in 13th.
yeah, just
I
absolute.
would guess that
Go
he
on.
probably didn't have a 120 PB beforehand because he's got a nice healthy 5,677 points for that. So
Very nice.
great job, Team Tipsy Tuxies.
Yeah,
And
excellent,
nice
excellent
logo.
drafting. And
Cute.
excellent logo. Awesome. Although encouraging kind of underage drinking. I'm a little
Oh,
suspicious of that.
250. So Sir Please Stop is in the chat. Drake's for Sir Please Stop
Drake's in
if you
chat.
got him.
Um, Moving on to Laysauce's team. It's Womplicated.
Team Womplicated. Yeah, I've seen Laysos streaming a lot with the Team Womplicated representation. Uh, I have a lot of optimism for this team for sure. We can go down draft order. Let me pull it up.
Sure, I can take that for you. First round,
Yeah.
Zach Tunes, followed by Ron Cena, Emmy Bella, Hyde, Malkirian, Kirsten, Dome Cactus, Chaboom, and Anorak, Hayes Live, Pansquito, J-Town 2909, Choco Blocko 9, and of course, Captain Blaysauce.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Although, I just caught Laysauce's stream today, and I think they were saying they don't really want to head back to any other categories. They're just kind of, I think, just going to try to stick with what they know. So they weren't too excited about trying to spread out in the league and, improve their other times. They said their other times were pretty solid. So I think they're just going to be grinding 120 if I understood correctly.
Do you mean Laysos in particular?
Laysauce in particular, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would say like if you can, you might as well do like 1 0 star run because you get like a 500 point bonus and like one star run. Um, but I mean, honestly, 0 star is hard and one
Yeah,
star is just annoying
yeah,
if you actually want to grind it. So
yeah.
no shame if you don't want to grind it, but that's kind of just part of the league incentive. It's to get you to explore and grind whatever makes you happy.
Right,
Just
right,
an
and
extra incentive if you want to try something new, you get some more points.
exactly. And so, looking and see at the leaderboard here, a lot of these people have 1 star PBs already, and improving those would probably be, it's going to be a grind, but they can at least, put solid times on the board. So, we'll see what they can do there and see if they can maybe sneak some points in through 1 star PBs. All pretty solid 16-star PBs as well as I'm looking at it. Like nothing, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, nothing
Yeah,
crazy
that's
here.
that's good because everyone in here, you know, shows that they have some familiarity. And I think if you have like a team where you maybe have like 3 or more picks, you really don't have any PBs, then you're gambling a lot. But in this case, it's like, yeah, everyone has some proof in the pudding there
Right,
with
right.
the 16.
And already 2 people in the league, or in the team rather, with 3 PBs in 3 categories at least. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
think Sarah saying Ron Cena, the GOAT, huge underdog here. I think that 120 time could go down a lot in
true, true,
particular.
true.
So that's really exciting there.
Maybe we see a second round pick really pay off. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's move on to Sinard's team, or Sunard. I apologize for getting that incorrect. French Connection V2. And so the draft with Sinard as the captain. First round pick Bandova 8, followed by Shadow's Power, PKT Distinct, Kebab, Carino, Frisian 4, Kudo, Callus Lallier, W Radion, SNY 8, Bongbalt, Mickey Boy, Mega Lavania, and of course Sinard is the captain, right listed right at the bottom of the sheet here. So
Yeah, French Connection, returning franchise, and honestly love the French team concept here. There's a lot of really good players that are kind of part of this scene here. You got PKT Distinct, kind of an old friend of mine with the 144 and 120. Sunard, I know like he's gonna be grinding, and he's got PBs in 4 categories already.
yeah,
Really
insane.
good, leading by example here is the captain. I think Shadow's Power was like a top 5 scorer in the last league last year. I believe he went from like he got a ton of points in 0 star. I know that. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
7 minute flat 0 star time, pretty nuts.
Yeah,
If he
those are
gets
some nuts 0 and 1
further
star
PB,
times.
that'll be a lot of points. So, yeah, Shadow's Power, a lot of short category prowess here. And then, Bonova 8, if he that's kind of a sleeper if he wants to do 120. That could go way down. So,
Absolutely.
lots of potential for French Connection.
Right here, and I would say is that I definitely drafted Sinard on my fantasy team because I knew they were going to be grinding it out, and I knew they were dedicated to the game. First came across Sinard and some of these other French runners or French-speaking runners uh, during when they signed up for one the Club 100 event. I forget what it was. It might have been either the 70 or 16 star events, and I didn't really
Mhm.
know who they were, sort of thing. And it's amazing to see them all together on a team, and everyone knows who they are now. Like they're not, it's not mysterious. Oh, who's that? It's Sinard's gonna like get me freaking points in the league. I know that much. So
Well, I know Sunard and Kudo signed up for the Bingo Blitz Double Trouble with
yep,
the 2v2 lockout bingo.
that's
That was
right.
really cool.
That's right. There's that too.
And
Wow.
they had like a big upset over someone. I forget who, but it's like, you look at their PBs, it's like, oh, there's no chance. And then they were able to like grind out like a nice 2-1 over like 2 really good RTA players. And that was like probably one of the highlight games of that event. So yeah, Sunrid and Kudo, a lot of French camaraderie there, and can't wait to see more of them. Currently in 10th.
Yes, and the last thing I'll point out is that Kebab is in the Club 100 70-star season right now, and recently just got the 4909 in 70. So, GG's on the PB.
Ah,
All right, let's move on to our next team, Mojo Pug's team, Onunya 64. Probably butchering that.
okay.
Apologize. But we can go over Mojo Pug team as the captain. First round pick, Am6, followed by Mr. Dasho, MD Snoopy, Carlos64, Pikamoo, Freelatus, Luisito, Limosic, P. Louison, uh, Macho Chin, JCE, Have ZP, Grange, and wrapping up again, listed at the bottom here of their own sheet of their own team, Mojo Pug. Oh,
So this team,
Spanish team.
yes, the Spanish team, but it's not the only Spanish team as well, which is actually really, really cool for me because, or it's really cool to me because I believe Mojo Pug's team is, oh no, I mean, Maf's team, the Mafia. I
Yep.
think that one's also Spanish. We covered it on Sunday. I already forget, but I believe there's another Spanish team in the league.
Yeah, I think
But
you're
this
right.
team, AM6, I mean, that's a goated pick, I think. I think like for first round pick, you got a lot to live up to, but AM6, I think he's good for it. Been PBing already. MD Snoopy, I want to give him a shout out. I think he's like a pretty underrated runner. Um, we got people like Luisito and P. Lucian down there as well. Like, I think this whole team, top down, actually has a lot of depth, and everyone here can get a lot of points.
Are you seeing the one star PB category? Like half the team already has 1-star
Wow,
PBs in this
they might be
league.
doing like some group
I
practice,
wouldn't be surprised if
smashing
they
the
were. Yeah,
yeah.
look at that. Even a lot of 16 PBs already too. So GG's there. So probably still lots of low hanging fruit on the longer categories.
Yeah, I think anyone who goes out of their way to do practice, like I believe you said Elisa was doing some like team practice and stuff with you
Yep,
guys, but
yep.
anyone who does that as a captain or just as a team is gonna have, a lot of activation from their players if, they get that buy-in. So with the Spanish team and that 1-star happening already, it looks like they might be going like category by category together even.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
yeah, that's
that would
kind
be
of
pretty cool if we saw like, all 70 PBs like midway through the season or something.
I know.
So
Yeah,
we'll just have to look out for that.
during our was it quarter pole kind of 3/4 the way through the league recap episode, we'll have to come back and see. Oh, look at that. It'll be
Yeah.
something to watch for. So very cool. Moving on to our next
On.
team. It's Saxdale with the Gosh Gamers.
Let's freaking go, Sax.
Let's go
The Gosh
Sax.
Gamers, and I believe that's Miles Buckram there.
Got it. I need to get someone else to tell me all the references, but let's start out, of course, as we always do, with the draft picks in order. So we have first round pick Dakage, followed by Geek, followed by Xandry64, Linux Hater, Jumbo Jolt, Ian1243, He X2 or He Heeks2, uh, Angry Kermit, Michael Guy, Andrews Geesey Skin, uh, Super Outplays, Logic Bit, Dugong, and of course this is Saxdale's team.
So here's the thing. If you didn't tell me Saxdale was the captain, I would be a little bit skeptical. But because Saxdale is the captain, he's got to know something. So I think like we're gonna have to see how Gosh Gamers actually plays out because they're not doing bad. They're actually in 8th. So Saxdale really did his homework in this draft and picked some really good like sleeping talents here, and I'm hopeful to see that continue. I mean, not sleeping, I guess. Like some of these are known to be like decent players, but like this is a really kind of under the radar draft from
It's an under
Sax.
the radar draft exactly. I think Sax really had an idea of who was good that other players or other captains didn't have a sense of. So it should be interesting to see. I mean the PBs that they've acquired in the league so far are pretty spread out. Nothing like we saw in the Spanish team we just covered that had them in a category spread out here. 70, although nothing in 120 yet. Again, is that low hanging fruit?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of missing 120 PB. So if Saxdale can inspire the rest to get on the 120 grind, I think the points will just keep on coming.
Exactly. They're already again right now in 8th place, so uh, could definitely see that improve. All right, let's move on to Fizz's team, Team Silly Goofy. We can go ahead and start with the draft
Well, I
picks
just
in
want to point
order.
out before you do, Saxiel says he's going to surprise everyone. So he's been around, but you know, if Saxiel is that confident about is if Saxiel is going to be that confident about something, I'm inclined to believe him. So gonna keep an eye on he.
That's the exciting thing, and that that's the thing when you draft your team is that you're putting your stakes down, you're putting your bet down. It's like putting a bet down in Vegas. Only totally legal here. No one's betting. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, let's move on to Fizz's team. Uh, gonna need some help with this pronouncing the first syllable of this
CJ
name.
Rocco Camaro.
CJ Rocco Camaro. Thank you so much with the notorious first round pick, followed by Mao's FX. Express Lee, Von Jim, Z Gamut, Jalapine Cone, Midbro, Jake Morris, Castle, Super 64 Guy, Jazz Kid, Thorn 97. Don't have one. Don't have I believe that was the speedruns.com account, which it would seem to be a problem.
Good.
So that's the team.
So the first four picks I really like. CJ Rocco Camaro is he's goaded. 629 and 0 star, 709 and 1 star. I believe he just PB'd the other day. Um, I think it was in 1 star. He just got the 709, so I think one of those needs to be highlighted. But um, really good short category runner, and he has PBs in the longer categories too. Which if he wants to grind those could be huge scores. And then you have Mao SFX and Von Jim, who are kind of part of the SM64 VC crew, and they could do a lot of work. But I do have to wonder a little bit, how much they're going to play. Like, I think Von Jim's good for it. I don't know about Mao though. I don't know if he's going to play. I assume Fizz would have talked with Mao beforehand. But then when you go down the list, you see not a lot of activity here. They're currently toward the bottom of the table, so it's not looking too great for Team Silly Goofy. But there's a lot of league left. You just need those players to kind of catch on and start PBing. And sometimes you just don't PB for the first like week or two. That's just like completely normal. So see if Team Silly Goofy can pick up some pace. But
Right, exactly. And the harder it
yeah,
is to, the better your time is,
it's nice to see Fizz be a captain.
yeah, but the better your time is, you're going to be in a grind, especially if it's one of the, a top time, it's going to be difficult. So, even if you're just, grinding all week, you're not going to get it necessarily right away, but I think it'll definitely come during the league. Also, just want to shout out Jalapine Cone has a Club 100 history here. I believe it's early on, seasons 1 and 2,
Yeah,
possibly 3. So, love to see them in the league and just kind of representing. So, shout outs there.
yeah. I also know Hall of Pinecone is playing some CS:GO also. So I started playing this thing called like Counter Strike Confederation. It's kind of like a loosely organized, not loosely organized. It's kind of like a semi-competitive, like for fun league. So it actually is sort of like the reminiscent of the SM64 league that we're doing, where you have franchises and you get drafted on teams. But I saw Jalapine Cone in like a team on CSC, and I was like, "What the heck is that? Actually Jalapine Cone?" And it was. So that was like completely unexpected and kind of cool. But yeah, hopefully he
What a
goes
coincidence.
back to Mario and
That's pretty
scores some
funny.
points.
Hopefully you come back to Mario and score some points.
Yeah, I haven't streamed yet, but I've been playing
That's good. I was gonna
with
ask.
Kraken.
I was gonna ask, and maybe we'll do that in a little break here. But we have a couple more teams to get through before we take a short little segment elsewise, and then we'll get back to teams. So, moving on to Vitroncio's team. Let's go ahead and start with the draft, which is first round pick Shizuka Arctic, Edgy SM64, Pedalite, Roddy, Leo Damon, Voulez-Vous, Zizek, Faden, Flo, Foley, uh, Arthur Dar Arthur Darturitui. I'm mispronouncing that. Apologies. Former pro in the 12th round and wrapping up in the 13th round with AAJK10.
All right.
And we got Aria Lars chiming in chat. Edgy is the GOAT, by the way. So excellent pick there, apparently.
I mean, Shizuka Arctic is like actually insane. Although don't even see their PB on SRC, so I don't know if they have another name that they go by. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm
Oh,
mostly just
Chemist. I don't see Chemist's name either. Okay, but Edgy the Goat. So I guess expect to see some big points from Edgy.
right. They only have a 16 PB on
There's a lot
the
of missing
board.
PBs in this whole draft. Like,
Right, right. So I wonder if that's some easy points or what's going on.
I mean, I think, if you don't have any PB, it might mean that you haven't learned the category. I'd be more inclined to pick someone with like a really slow 120 PB in relation to their 70 PB, like,
Right,
because
right.
then they know 120 and they could just get up to speed really quickly. If they
Right.
haven't learned the category at all, that's a bit of a time sink,
Yep.
and you don't know if they're actually going to commit to learning that category. So, I do fear a little bit for the bottom half of this draft, but I think the first couple picks could be really good.
No, I completely agree. And as we were saying, not a lot of league PBs on the board yet. So,
Yeah.
but again, those 16 PB times are also solids, high 15s and 16s. So
Mhm.
looking pretty good. All right, and we'll move on to our next team, which is Sari's team, the Blonde Boys. Let's go ahead and give the draft order. Starting out in the first round pick with Squimmy, followed by Hey Pando, Jake Goss 6, Jason Corns, Iradu, Lucilia, iMac iMac, uh, Ben Barino, Melody Loves Luna, J Rao, Shadow 64, Shiny Relaxo, Tomez, and of course, yes, the Sari, the team captain here. So, what do you think, Badronas? I have some thoughts of my own, but I'm curious what you think first.
Well, I think you have. Okay, so I think you have a lot of really cool people on this team, and I think it's going to be like important for like the social dynamic to push people to get PBs. Because you have a lot of people like Squimmy. I think he's good for it. He's gonna grind. But I think like with people like Hey Pando, like he does like a lot of like GeoGuessr and stuff. Like I think he needs to
Did I,
be
did you
like part of a community,
did you
or
see
he
the
needs
news
to be
on
part of like a
Pando?
team
Because I don't
effort.
see
So
the updated PB here yet. I believe
no.
Pando got the 58 skip, just got a
Oh
57 PB just the other day. So, Hey
wow.
Pando has been putting in the
Oh,
work.
and 1 star runs
Uh,
to Sarah. Yeah. So Sarah. So you're Sari, right,
yes,
Sarah?
Sarah Starenka
Okay.
is Sari in chat. So,
Okay. So captain in the chat here. Um. Yeah. Like we got iMac in here who did the graphic for this stream that we're all watching right now. Um, yeah, I like this team.
okay, I'm glad you said that
Blonde
about the
boys.
social dynamic because I haven't followed Sari for about probably the past year or so. So I
Okay.
know a little bit of the insight into how she was picking her team, and I believe it was a lot of she was on the Mighty Fucks last year, Elisa's team, which did a lot of
Okay.
in-house grinding. And I think she took that as a lesson, saying how she wanted to run her team this year with a lot of people who was going to be able to grind together, motivate each other, and get each other going. And so, like you
That's
were saying,
perfect.
that's exactly the mindset you need, I think, to get things done. So I think this was an excellent draft pick just from like a general manager point of view of picking people that are going to work together and really motivate each other and talk trash to each other and give each other a lot of shit in the interest of motivating each other, which is super important. So I had that down. I wanted to mention Pando with the 58 skip, which is huge. And also, I think this is going to be, like we mentioned with like the Mighty Fucks or the French Connection or Yoshi Fan Club, this is going to be a franchise team that you see in the league year after year. No better evidence of that than a little birdie told me they have a merch store. So if you're interested in the logo there,
Wow.
you like that, maybe check that out.
Dude,
So
Blonde Boys could definitely be like like some clout brand.
I
I'm like
really
I
think
could see
so.
some frat boy like Blonde Boys. I'm like, what an asshole, prick.
Well, go get your merch
Because
now.
it's just
Get in early.
that kind of vibe, but it's definitely something I can see the logo being like poppin'. I think that's
Oh,
really
it's
cool.
definitely popping. I've already
So good
placed my
job
order.
on the logo and the team.
I've already
Maybe we can all get some Blonde Boys merch. Hold on, Sarah, are you going to Pace? Because maybe we can take like a Blonde Boys like group photo, even if I'm not on Blonde Boys. That would be kind of sick.
Go get your merch now, so it's here in time. Okay, so anything else
So
about the
hold on. Go ahead and plug your merch store, Sarah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and drop a
I,
link or
I would maybe get like, well, dude, do you have hats? I don't wear hats, but I feel like a blonde boy's hat would be just such a good meme, especially because I'm not blonde.
yeah,
But like,
oh, exactly. No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm a blonde boy in spirit.
There you go. We got the link in chat if anyone wants to get some of that. And I guess another PSA is we do have only like 2.5 weeks left until PACE. If you have any stickers you want to order for you to hand out at PACE, or anything about like upload your emotes to make stickers, or your logos, or avatars to make stickers, or anything, do it now. There's still time to place your
Wait,
orders. Get it done.
holy shit! Hold on. This is next level. Like I feel like we've been like duped by like some like expert businessman who's using the league to like generate
Businesswoman,
like marketing clout for their
businesswoman.
logo.
There you go.
So okay, iMac did the logo then. Well, that works out perfectly. So yeah, this, like you said, BDF, if this is going to be a recurring franchise, I think this is going to be a staple. You know, the blonde boys are gonna represent the league really well.
Absolutely. So, yeah, shout out to Blonde Boy. Shout out to Sari. Just one more thing we'll mention about Sari personally is that watching her improve from like greater than 20-minute time in 16 to now having a 17:58 and just being on that grind and just uh, switching to console, and everyone is saying, oh, it's gonna take you some time to get used to it. Time to get used to it. Picked it up like a fucking pro in like 2 weeks. Like absolutely insane. So. Yeah, loved watching the progress there and continuing to watch it. Now that she's moving on to like 70 and other categories for League, it's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, congrats, Sarah, and honestly, congrats everyone on like the logo and the whole team
and,
atmosphere and stuff.
and the brand marketing. GG's.
Yeah.
So
So
okay.
great job.
So that is 8 teams. We have 8 teams left to go. We're going to take a short little break here for a segment that we like to call here What's More Likely. We have two scenarios here, mostly to generate some discussion. So it shouldn't take too
Okay.
long. We'll get back to the teams in a moment. But Dronis has never seen these before, so mostly interested in his thoughts here on what we got going on. But
I love it.
so let's move on to our first one. What's more likely that Green Squeegee takes all the main leaderboard categories, world records by the end of league, or that Green Squeegee's 0, 1, or 16-star records is bopped by the end of league?
My God, I love this. First of all, like the thing, it's we're like, and like yada yada yada, team, and then it's like, who's that Pokemon? You know, doing the break, and then this is like a complete like I don't know. This is just such a hot take to say that Green Suiji would take like all leaderboards records, but I think it's very likely that one of his 0, 1, or 16-star records um could get bopped, but it's so unlikely that either happened in my
Right, right. Well,
opinion.
yeah,
It's
no, of
like I
course,
don't know
this is,
which is more likely.
yeah, it's definitely what's more likely, not necessarily, these are definitely likely things. But that I think it's even
Yeah.
in a realm of discussion. I think it's just interesting that it's like I could see this kind of going either way. I mean, it's
It's
by
like
by
a
it.
lot of people are close to the 1 star right now. But here's the thing, like the the mash on Suigi is just nuts, and I think like it's it's just on another level. Like I don't know if anyone's actually gonna be able to take his world record. Like they could get close. Like Tag has 703, but like it's still 6 seconds away. So I guess not that close after all.
And Mash has a great point in
Anno or CJ could take 0 star,
Mash has a great
probably.
point in chat that 120 world record is impossible by end of league. This is the
Oh
qualifier I
yeah, that
added to
that
make
that
the.
was like just the audacity to say he
Oh,
could take all main world records by the end of
well,
the
that's
league
just
is
like
just such a nuclear hot take.
I feel
It's
like
so
I feel like
good.
you're not saying that much if you just say he could take it eventually. So of course we got to hot take it up.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to add that in there to
I
make
think
this
it's good that it's like
spicier.
during the league time frame because I don't see either happening, but from the chat like who said CJ could Saxo says CJ can get 0. FGSM says 0, 1 more likely to get beaten. So yeah, I think Suigi could get 70 star much more likely than any of his records will get bopped. That almost seems imminent, but 120 I I just don't think you can get to that level because it just takes so many repetitions
Hmm.
to know all the things that can happen on every star because there are just way more complex interactions due to
Right.
like the RNG, just the difference in like length of stars and movement. I think it's just not something that you can take shortcuts on.
It's not something you take shortcuts on. There's a lot of not movement things to know and just
Yeah.
do and experience. So okay, no, that's I gotta say that worked better than I thought it would. Just because I think you were
That's a
so
good discussion.
offended at
It's
the
a
like
it's
notion
a
that to be so audacious. I loved it. So that was a great.
yeah.
Let's move on to our second question and get back to the teams. I know everyone's here wants to probably see the league, the league preview. So we'll move back to that in a moment. But let's move on to our second. What's more likely? And this one's more related here to the teams, which is
Ooh.
the Wholesome Chunguses win the league. I'm not sure if anyone's been following along. We haven't actually discussed them yet. They're drafted first, and we're discussing them last. But I think people who've been following the league know that they are kind of dominating the top of the leaderboard right now as a team. It's Mash's team there. So do the Wholesome Chunguses win the league, or does a team not in the current top 10 win the league?
Team Chungus!
We got the big Chungus from Badronis there.
Mash says I have to go with one, I guess,
Yeah, I
and
guess
wow.
Mash has to go with their team winning the league. But I thought this was interesting because it gets to a point I thought about, which is that again the low hanging points or low hanging fruit in terms of points are at the start of the league. Things are kind of just diminishing returns as you go on. So as a team from the bottom going to suddenly, and we talked about earlier, you don't necessarily get PBs in your first second week, but they're going to count the same. So. Or do these teams have a head start now that they've already got PBs and they can grind further? So I'd love to see. Is it more likely the Wholesome Chunguses win, or that a team just comes out of not the top 10 and wins?
Yeah, I think with my discussion with Mash recently about his draft, like he really wanted to prove a point like he could be a good captain and draft a good team. He put a lot of effort into thinking through his picks and not just people who kind of were the household names. Like he had the very first pick in the league, and he picked Soul Erica B, who, if you know who she is, she's really good. But she mainly did like category extensions, like Nonstop 120 and stuff like this during the Nonstop League, and had done 120 RTA a long time ago. But it's like knowing that potential is like cool, but like to go for that as your first pick in the whole draft is like still really bold. So like, Master did his research and he has been reaping the rewards right now. Like second place in the whole league is Nicholas CS83 and he's dropped like a bonker 0 star run out of nowhere. I don't think Mash even predicted that, but it's just like crazy and it shows like how Mash like knew the potential of his players. So yeah, I think it's a top three lock from Mash and Alaris here.
Yeah, it's I'd have to say that as well. And so yeah, I think it's more likely just because yeah, the team is just putting up domination. I don't think it's going to stop. So um, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they can do. And yeah, it's interesting. We're about what almost a quarter of the way through the league already. So because 2 weeks in out of what about eight. So you can start to get a feel for how the season's going to play out. I think about now because people have been grinding. And you can see just how much focus and attention people are putting on it. So yeah, I think definitely think it's more likely that the Wholesome Chunguses win the league, but it's still early.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's all I have prepared for us for what's more likely. I hope people enjoyed the segment. Maybe we can do it again on another podcast. But let's get back into our team previews. All right, so moving on to Sheisley's team, Akatsuki. We can go over the draft order, starting with first round pick Peepo Becca, followed by Sequoia, I'm Twisted Tay, West Dog, Hot Takes by Soph, Ghost Shock, Mia Khalifa is overrated. That's a username, not my opinion. NM Speedruns, Shrando, Amush Mash B, Cole RG, Raikaru, Silvaria, and again, this is Sheisley's team. Sheisley is the team captain. And we already have FS,
All right.
FGSM in chat pointing out
I'm
Amush is the
gonna
GOAT. So
a mush.
Amush Mash.
Mesh B. All right, you know what? I was gonna roast Shicely. I'll actually leave him alone. This team's okay. I don't think it's insane, but it has people who could score pretty decently. Like I think this is more of like a team chemistry kind of thing. Like you have big personalities and like West Dog, Hot Takes by Soph, Twisted Tay. Like I think they could all have like a good like camaraderie there
Hmm.
and get some runs going. I don't think you'll have any like absolutely top scorers here. People Becca, I don't know what to make of as the round one pick. Might be a homie pick, might be like a sleeper agent, but I'm not too convinced as of yet. They're in 23rd. I mean, they're sorry, not 23rd. They're like right in the middle of the table.
Yep.
They're 19th, so a little bit below half. But um
You can see a
I
lot of PBs put up even on the board too. We've
yeah,
seen
I
teams
think
with
this
fewer
team could be
PBs put
fine.
up.
I don't think this team will end in like the top 10 or anything.
I think that's a fair assessment, but they can prove us wrong. That's what's exciting. Uh,
They could.
Not a lot of 120 PBs, so maybe you can see some points there if people just get on the board and kind of focus on that. So yeah. Also worth pointing out what NM Speedruns already has a PB in 3 categories. That 120 PB probably has some room to come down, for being honest. But Mia Khalifa's overrated. Looked like sub 60 or sub hour run in 70. I'm not sure if they got that during the league, if that was the one, but pretty damn close. So looking good there, and 16 and 1 star PB as well. So yep. Shall we move on
Yeah.
to
Let's keep moving.
Saren's team, the Cool Cat Coalition? Speaking of Saren, we gave him the shout out at the beginning of the show because the Cool Cat Gang season is starting up again on YouTube, so definitely go check that out. But let's start out with Saren's team, and as they drafted first round pick Zine 64, pretty solid. Cryptic 80, Mr.
Mm.
Jimmy Steele, Tobith D, Finn L, the Baronade, Dry Blocks Man, O Noise, Ocarnist Drew, Kapora Sage, Young, Case Kong, SL Weed, Arby's 247, and of course, uh, finishing up the list, Sarah Mew is the team captain, so of the Cool Cat Coalition.
I think this is a pretty good team.
Yeah,
You're gonna get from those like top 5 picks, like a lot of good runners who can play all the categories. Like Zion, I think he was. I don't know if this was like um. What was I gonna say? He was like, he has like shout outs in all 5 categories. There's only like a handful of people who can say that. Cryptic on the 120 grind got a 141. Looks like he could get a 140. If you can get a 140, you can get a 47. Funny, the Cryptic could like not get 49 for like 10 years. Mr. Jimmy Steele, he's been around the block a long time. He could pretty much do, PBs in all those categories. Tobith, good player. Fennel, um, less. So I know Fennel a little bit. From his Twitter though, it seems like he's kind of turning his life around, like getting his ducks in a row. So I think if that's the case and he's able to play productively, then he could be a really good asset. And then I think the rest of the team kind of rounds it out with a few people who are less experienced but also have a little bit of potential. We see some PBs already from like Ocarina's Drew, for example. I think this will be pretty good.
Yep, we pretty
Also
good. Those
early mid-table, but I think this is a team that I think I think this team will finish in the top half.
right. If we were saying that you don't always get PBs in your first week, this is a team that I think is good enough that like the grind is actually going to take a while to get the PBs. They're at the level where they don't come for free. You
Yeah,
gotta put the
that's
time in.
true. I think you'll see like a lot of, you know, um, early booms from the teams who have a lot of newer players who can just
Right,
get those like lump sum bonuses and
right,
stuff because
right,
it doesn't take much to beat their PB. But when you have people like Zion and Cryptic and it just isn't going to happen as easily.
right, right.
But Cryptic all's already with the 120 PB, so things are really looking up.
Yeah, exactly. And this will be an interesting team to check in with again, or towards our like end of season review episodes, just to see
Hmm.
how it shaped out. So, excellent. Well, good luck to Sarah and Mew in terms of the league and in terms of hosting your tournament.
Yeah.
And let's move on to Team Udalol, currently in third place as when I grabbed the snapshot here. Let's start out
Nice.
with the draft order. Starting the first round pick, Madware, followed by Lectago, Geo Gringo, Kinosura, Fall Guys Sex Mod, Urko N64, Toxic 473, Prismatic Fast, ZG53, Cactus, Happy Spanners, Leopatic, Wing, and again, this is Utilol, the captain of the Discord Kittens.
This team is is pretty cool. You have a lot of people here who I think are gonna be. I mean, here's the thing: we've already seen it. Happy Spanners is in 10th in the league overall, doing the Lord's work there with 4 category PBs already. But just looking at the rest of the people on this team, like I think everyone here is gonna be interested in PBing across multiple categories, except for like, I don't know, Toxic 743 or whatever, who doesn't have any other category PBs. But like, Madware, Lectago, Geo Gringo, Kinosora, like these are all good picks. FGSM obviously in the chat represent. I like this team quite a bit. I am surprised they're in third. That's like nuts for me. I think it's a lot due to Happy Spanners getting 9,000 points already, but that's
But
that
still, that's
that
pretty good for an
that's
11th round
that's a
pick.
nutty
It'll,
11th round draft pick, kind
yeah,
of doing a lot of heavy lifting there, but it's
that
a comfy team, like Larry says.
Yeah, that is contributing when your 11th round pick is putting up 4 PBs in like within the first 2 weeks and pretty solid times too. Nothing like, oh, I'm just trying to get on the board. Like those
Yeah,
are
I think this is a great way to also just like give some sign to the people who are new players and grinding. Like, hey, let's give some Jakes in the chat for Happy Spanners. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, no,
if
this
you got
is
them, put some Jakes in the chat. That's some really impressive work here in 2 weeks of Mario. So good on him.
Alrighty. So, anything else here we notice here before we move on to our next team? Let's move on then to Jay Waterman 04088's team, team Taustix 64.
I wonder if there's any like hidden messaging coming through here, like, if he's trying to make a point or send a message to anyone, like maybe like asking for some kind of like deed or service or goods. Well, I don't know. The world will never know. We'll just have to speculate.
We'll, we'll never know. Uh,
Um, let's go through the
let's
list.
go through the
Yeah.
list. First round pick Ouija, followed by GTM, Blue Haven Gaming, Gold Duck 6644, Drumsticks 576, Diabetic Raptor, Meter, Clueless, NASCAR 316, Benny the Great, I'm
They have
Chat,
NASCAR.
Ross 3102, Super Gamer 3000, and again, this is Jay Waterman's team. Jay Waterman is the captain of Team Taustix. Taustix 64, I apologize.
So I feel like this is a team where if you had like an actual like fantasy football thing where you have a budget and you buy players and you spend all your money on Ouija and GTM and then you kind of have like low budget for like the other 10 or 11, this is kind of the team you get. But because you're just drafting every round, I feel like some of these picks could have been better. Uh I mean, I don't know everything that they know. Like this is a pretty decent team, but it could have been better. like like I don't know. Okay, I have to point out that NASCAR 316, I believe this is a guy who sends like just like unsolicited like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" like messages to people with like kind of like I don't know, it's almost like creepy.
Oh, well, that's
So the NASCAR's on this team.
they need
Um
more. Really, NASCAR's
I
gonna
have
have
to
more
say, like,
PBs than they
saving
want.
grace here, like, look at okay. So, all right. So a meter is bailing them out right now, and Diabetic Raptor with all these PBs because I don't know what you're gonna get out of Ouija and GTM. They're such good players, but they might not PB, and if they don't PB, I think your team's kind of screwed. All
Right.
right, pull the plug on me, get me off there. I've been like way too toxic with this team.
you
I'm
were
sorry.
no getting there. Well, I think it's good to have a real opinion and just like assess just what the teams are going to do and try to make a assessment of this. And also just not everyone is trying to shoot for the top team. Some people just want a cozy team they can practice with. Some people just they're looking for other things. So the teams are formed differently. But you're right in this case here, where like the problem here is that your first or second round draft picks are almost too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's to find the
Yeah,
right balance.
if I can dial it back, I think that's a more accurate statement. Like, you're counting on Ouija and GTM being like big point players when just because they're like big PB players, like Ouija still has the 120 world record for crying out loud. It doesn't really mean they're gonna score all that much.
Right, they have a smaller
So
chance of a boatload of
yeah,
points because the points are worth so much.
it's pretty risky. So I mean, I think like shout outs to Raptor and Meter in the middle there, and um, I think there's a lot of other people like Benny the Great's got PBs in 4 categories. He could get a lot of points. Yeah, we'll see how this team shapes up.
We'll see how definitely how they shape up. So, we have 5 teams to go. So let's move on. So Johnny Three Oaks team, Chicken Butt.
Okay.
First round pick,
Why
Sweegie.
has he done that? He's like I literally got Sweegee's the first pick in this Sweegee
Yeah, this
team
and
icon.
that it makes me more comfortable that they're using Sweegie's icon, that they have Sweegie on the team.
Yeah, it would be
uh,
weird if they didn't,
It would be
but they
weird if
do.
they didn't. So first round pick Sweegie, followed by Markinator 99, Horror does speed runs, T Hags 15, Japega, uh, Zerent, Zerent, uh,
Theron,
Zerent, retro runs, Edwolf, Asandal, Vadian, Prenew, Tonka Truck 47, Luke runs, and again this is Johnny Three Oaks team, Chicken Butt.
this is a really good team.
This is a really good team, yeah.
First of all, Markinator is ninth place in the league overall right now,
hmm
with PBs in 70, 16, and 1 star, doing a ton of work here.
I will point out also they got
Luigi's
the.
already got a 70 PB.
Sorry, I just
That
want to
was
point
worth
out
a lot of points.
that Markinator got the 70 PB on live on the Club 100 tournament this season, just a few
Ooh.
weeks ago on 2 weeks ago yesterday. So that was incredible to see live. Yeah, just a great moment. So shout out to Markinator.
Yeah. Horror goaded pick. Hasn't PB'd yet, but like look at the timesheet. Like
Yeah,
that's a guy you want on your team. Like
yeah,
Horror he's just good for it. Like he's very consistent. Also with consistency comes like kind of reliability. Like if he plays for a month, he will almost be guaranteed a PB in that category. So like yeah, a lot of good potential there from Horror. T Hags as well. He's been in the Mario 64 VC playing a bit, doing some 0 star or like SPLJ practice. Japega, Zerent, Retro Runs, I think also good picks. Like this team, Ed Wolf as your 8th round pick is good. Like a Sandal, like 3 PBs already. Like this
right.
team has a lot of depth.
And literally, that's just that 0 1 star PB, a 7:31 and an 8-minute flat. Like that's some good times. Like
Yeah. Oh, also, Matt's putting on Japega underrated. Look at the 70 PB on Japega. He could demolish that one. That's like
oh yeah, absolutely.
three 3,000 or 5,000 point PB waiting to happen right there.
Absolutely. So, no, that should be really good. Yeah, this
So
is a
yeah,
pretty
good
solid team.
draft by Johnny Oak.
Yeah, and yeah, good draft. And yeah, just a lot of PB potential still on the board. You can tell.
Yeah, currently in 11th. I was like looking in the top 10 for them, but I think they'll move up.
I think they'll move up, and that's actually if they're already 11th, I wouldn't expect them to be that high already. So that's actually a really good
Yeah.
sign for them. All right, well let's move on to Team Meanest Monk, the Pokey W crew.
Wow. Ooh, this team is pretty cool. I
This
like
seems
this
pretty
team.
cool. Let's go over the draft picks. Followed in the first round, we have Callie, followed by Ringo 792, Renash, Taylor Swift Simp, Inkstar, T3 Blitz, uh, Damagechi,
Damage Kai or
Damage
or
Kai.
it's
Thank
like
you.
Dom. I think it's more like Japanese. It might not. It's not even damage. It's like Dama
Okay, yeah.
Kai or something.
Billy LJ, Squisher, Pat the Sea Milk, Cartersoft, Storm Kylis, Nuclear, and again, this is Meatus Monk's team, the Poke W crew. Dama
Okay.
Jichi. So, uh, D- Dama Jichi. Dama Jichi is the seventh round pick.
Damageki. See, I don't even know. Is it a hard G or a soft G? Is it a Kai or Chi?
Right.
So,
Apologies if
uh,
we butchered that.
yeah.
But yeah, let's get
But
to the team.
Dama and this team. So first of all, Callie, definitely gonna be like one of the most like sought after draft picks in any scene, seen a league here. A Damagotchi. Oh, like Damagotchi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can work with that. Damagotchi.
DD Mega Doodoo. Okay.
Thank you, Mash.
Damagotchi. Okay. So, Callie here, round one pick. Garen, has to be a round one pick. Like he's been grinding. He's going to be at pace. He's going for the 138. He's got huge potential in the other categories if he wants to grind those. Ringo, kind of the founding father of the league, 142 and 120, already PB'd in 70, so he's on his way. He's got times in 1 and 0 already. This is looking really good. Ranoche, a bit underrated. I think you'll have to like know that he's gonna play and take down that 120 PB at least. Otherwise, it might not be like he needs to do 120. I think for points. But Taylor Swift Sim 16 1 and 0 PBs already. Mostly known for single star, but I think once they kind of grow into full RTA runs, you're gonna get a good player there. Yeah, Callie is one of the few top player good picks because he plays a lot, so he's not going to like fail for lack of trying. He's gonna try to PB, and he has a really good approach where he um, approaches things with an eye for consistency and reliability, and those things help you get PBs. So, Callie, really good pick. Inkstar is round 5. I actually do know Inkstar from the Ultimate Stars spreadsheet because I added him to it. But like, I know that he's got times on the spreadsheet. So that makes me think he would do 70 or 120. And in that case, I think he's a good pick because he has no times for 70 and 120. So like, if you know he's gonna do those categories, then good pick. Um, T3 Blitz, I'm less sure about. Damageki or Damagachi, uh, really underrated pick, round 7. Billy LJ, Squisher, Pat the Sea Milk. Pat, he was at pace. Carter Soft. I think the bottom half of this team is still pretty decent. Like everyone here, I can see getting some points. So I think this is a
Yeah.
really good draft.
Good times, but still improvable times. And if they have them on the board, you see that 70, you can think they can probably put up a 120 run by the end of the league, I would think. So maybe some
Yeah.
points there. So yeah, some good points in the top half and some good points in the bottom half. So where are they ranked right now? They're
Like
ranked
13th.
13th right now. Again, I think that's a good sign for them if they're already 13th, because I think there's only more points to flow for them.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our second to last team, our penultimate team in our draft preview episode here. Kaju
Ooh.
N64's team, the Raging Cajuns. Um, and let's go over the draft picks. So first round pick, Druz, followed by Professor G, Ape Duden, Nico V2K, I'm Poop, Sema, J Puffery, Corf24, Octave 6, Liar, Indigo, Adam J, uh, a Mind Speedrunner 64, and
Like,
again,
I thought that was supposed to be anime, but it's
eh,
a mine
a
or
Mind Amine. Yeah, I'm not sure
Amine
if
or
it's
Amine. Amine? Do you
Amine.
watch Amine?
Do I watch Amine? Don't you? So, but that is the Raging Cajuns, and we're getting some shout outs there for the really nice logo. So make sure you are. I guess everyone here knows probably listening on a podcast app. So if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you're paying attention to the logo. It's very nice.
Yeah, I respect the variety of logos we have.
I did too as well. Some of them should be turned into merch.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we got to see what numbers Sarah is able to like pull
Exactly.
for that, and we're like,
I
hold on a minute,
I
you
would buy
know,
I would
it's
buy
like,
a
hey, where's my cut?
I would buy a Tipsy Tuxies pin, you know. So
I would get like, I think some logos like obviously you have goofy ones like Gangster SpongeBob.png, Tipsy Tuxies pin that could be fun. Wholesome Chungus merch,
yeah,
obviously.
I mean that
Um,
one's too much to
I
obvious to
I think
include.
some that are kind of like recurring at this point, like the B team with Beeve. I could see that being like a, I don't
Hmm.
know, like a T-shirt or
You
something.
could
Cool
yeah,
Cat Coalition.
that one's
That's a good
definitely
logo.
needs merch. So
Um, yeah.
the Mighty Fox, I'm
Reset
just gonna
no
shit on my
thanks.
team.
That looks like what is it? It's the Men I Trust. Uh,
Oh,
like a it's like a logo from that band. So I'm
oh,
sure that
okay.
band has merch. So you probably couldn't make merch out of that one, but
We'll move on and
yeah.
find out. We'll do a follow up segment on one of the episodes about best merch, and we'll have people vote, and then we'll release the poll results of that episode. So, but
Dude, we
let's.
could just get like an SM64 League like T-shirt or hat or
It
something.
really actually would be cool if like
With a summer Dory.
yeah, it would be cool. Maybe get one that has like the team name or the names on the back, or maybe just the team names, maybe and captains or something. Anyway,
Ooh,
let's wrap up our team
like
preview.
a tour T-shirt. It's like 2023 summer tour. And it's like
Exactly,
the
exactly.
wholesome Chunguses match,
Like that would love.
and
I
then
would
all
buy
the
that T-shirt.
teams.
All right, let's wrap up our team preview here, and then we can get back to kind of having I think a little more fun. So, was there anything to say about Kaju's team here? I don't think we much started. So,
We
uh,
really didn't. I think this is a decent team. I think some of the like round like the like kind of like middle round picks are all going to be pretty decent.
hmm
Um, I I'm not convinced anyone's going to be like a top scorer though. Like I think all these picks are good. We'll see like, it's just like how many of them are going to get the points that they have the potential for, which
right.
goes for most teams. But I think this is probably one of the like slightly above average drafts.
I'd say so. And again, you're counting on your top round pick or your first round pick already has some pretty good times in most categories. So I think that 120 PB can definitely come down if they want to work on it. But you're counting on kind of think the bottom half of the team to get some PBs on the board. It has more room for improvement, I would say. Which again, this whole thing is finding the picking the best players, but they also have a chance of improvement that are going to play. So you're right. I think the middle of the pack here on this team is where you're going to see a lot of the points come through.
Yeah. Abe Tuden's getting 49. Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, they are. Um, anything else to say here about Kaju's team before we move on to our final team?
Nope.
Let's move on then to our final team. The team everyone knows
Drum roll, please.
who they are. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. The Wholesome Chunguses, Mash's
Ooh.
team. Going over the draft order. I'm just taken aback by how many PBs are already on the board. But draft order: first round pick, Soul Erica B, followed by Alaris, followed by Big Cheese, Rhino, uh, Skoagogo, Nicholas CS83 Turtle Hippo, Shadow Bear, Blackwall, Weege J, Ellie, uh, Talosix, Wisderm, and of course Mash captaining the team, the Wholesome Chunguses.
So as you can see from the highlights, pretty much everyone on this team has gotten PBs already. That is
Jeez,
super impressive.
that's impressive. Yeah, this is a great team.
Except Alaris and
hmm.
Skoagogo and Ellie. But
Hmm.
just to throw shade at Alaris being the second round draft pick. Um, Big Cheeses here. Yeah, this is a really wholesome team. And holistic even with the even spread of PBs across the draft rounds. I think with this one, I would be really curious to hear more of Master's like draft philosophy because I think you can look at obviously knowing like Soul Erica's skill is above her PBs. Alaris he usually will try for the league. That's good. Big Cheese is on the up and up. Ryan, I don't know if it's Reno or Rhino. That's a really good pick in my opinion. Anyone with like PBs in all five categories, like I think is like a really good pick because they don't have to learn anything from scratch. Like they could just do zero star for the league, you know. Um, and then Nicholas CS actually is one of the biggest point scorers of the league right now, which is nuts. So that's just really sick. Um, with the bottom half though, I would not have picked out these players though, but that's why I want to hear from Ash, like how he's done this scouting, because I don't know, maybe he should get like he should do this as like his job. He can be like a draft scout.
It's really takes a skill, especially because, as we've discussed, you're not necessarily looking for just the top players because you're looking for people who can put up points. So there's got that. It's that combination of skill and potential to improve that really pays dividends here.
I think we should have Mash on a future podcast. Maybe if we can get like well, maybe we can have the winner on the last episode.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So
Yeah,
Mash, you got to
yeah,
stay in first place.
that's not a bad idea. We could try to get the number one maybe player and the captain of the number one team. Good idea.
Um, but yeah, I think Mash would be a good guest.
We can
Is there
absolutely.
is there anyone else you want to point out here? I want to point out Wisdom. Last round draft pick, PBs in three categories already.
I
Like,
can probably bring
look
down the
at him go.
120. So.
You know,
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's again, yeah, just look at the PBs
Spicy
are just
with
all spread out on this board. It's really impressive. So you can see why they're in first, why they have currently a 20,000 point lead over the Tipsy Tuxies who are in second place right now. About the same amount, 22,000 point lead over the Discord Kittens who are in third. So, um, and still, yeah, you're right. There's still potential here to go.
yeah.
Yeah, they learned SBLJ.
There you go. Your round 13 pick knows SBLJ, so you're set.
Yeah, that's exactly. So um, that wraps up our team previews. We went through all 32 teams. Um, thank you for joining us for offering your opinions on everything. I originally the
I
birth of
want to
this podcast.
apologize to the Talstics team, who I just kind of roasted because I felt like I don't know. I actually just shouldn't have been like I have not enough knowledge to be critical like that, so I apologize.
We appreciate you coming forward with that because that's yeah, we're not trying to shame anyone here. We're just trying to go over and provide and just kind of a background for things. So sorry, Team Tausticks, if you felt offended by that. That was not the intention here, and yeah, we'll follow up with you. So, um, cool. So I have one more little segment left for us here. This is a league preview podcast. We are trying to preview things to look for the rest of the league. So I did want to go over with you, Madronas, if you had any things to watch for, and we'll wrap it up with I think predictions. And then I think the prediction will be fun. Both of us will list predictions, and the other has to say if they agree or disagree that the prediction will happen, and we can revisit those during our last episode. So I think that gives us a fun little thing to watch for the entire league. So, but first, is there any particular, not a prediction, but just anything you want everyone out there to follow or watch for, or think it would be interesting to follow for the rest of the league?
Well, that's very broad. I would say maybe if everyone can find one person on their team who they've never watched before and then watch them stream for a little while. I think that would be good for everyone to do.
Nice. No, that's excellent. PacePal Buddy can help you do that to help figure out who's streaming at any given time. I love having that up at all hours of the day, just seeing who is streaming. So, but yeah, definitely has helped me find new people to watch. So,
Yeah.
uh, that's a good idea. So I had a couple things to watch for. We kind of already talked about it with Green Sweegie, but just watching for that 70 world record because I think he's definitely capable of that. Has been on some Pacers recently. I think we were seeing that. So I just anyone who's out there who isn't kind of that's not on your radar, put it on your radar right now because any given stream I think he's doing 70 you could have it. So definitely put that there. Did you have anything else before I mentioned my last thing to watch for?
Uh Watch. So last season, last league, I was, Team Croissant Crusaders, right? We were like maybe dead last in the league 2 weeks in. We climbed up to I think 11th at the end. We went from like 31st or 37th to 11th. And this time I'm on Team Tabascoth, formerly known as the Cracked Addicts. I believe we will be formally changing our name in the near future. We have yet to do that. This team is going to make a similar comeback. So that's my bold prediction. But as part of that team, we're going to make it happen.
Nice, nice. All right, and the last thing I want to do, put on people's radar to watch for there, and this is a bit of a homer pick, because I got to represent the Mighty Fucks once again. Elisa has been streaming 70 and is going for the 49 skip, going for a 48, and I think she could have it any stream. She's had some big pacers recently, gained pretty far, so I just want to put that the 48 skip, or I'm sorry, the 49 skip, so getting a 48 for Elisa, I think is something to watch for League, because I think she's definitely motivated to get it and wants to get the league points. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And so yeah, I just wanted people to have go on. Yeah.
Oh, finish your thought.
No, I just wanted to have give some people out there just to give people out there something to watch for during the league, and it's not on their radar already, because I think a lot of people already have the teams they're watching, the friends they're watching, the top leaders they're watching, but there's so much going on. So
For sure.
last thing I was going to say before we kind of wrap up this episode here is,
Well, I was going to do a
sorry.
couple predictions.
Oh no,
I didn't
predictions.
know
This
if
is
we were
that
going to do
we're
that.
doing predictions now. Yes, exactly. What's your first prediction?
Well, Saxo was saying we could go for predictions in there for like top 10 individuals at like the midpoint.
Hmm.
So I was actually thinking, before you even said that, I have a prediction for number one player.
Okay,
I think
let's
it's
go.
going to be Mauier. He's in third, and he's got PBs in all five. He's got runs in all five categories. Um, he's relatively new, so he's hungry. He's from Chile, which is where. Wait, is he from Chile? Yeah, Chile. Not that that really matters, but I believe my God, is it Seba? Someone else is from Chile who's cracked. But like I feel like being like on a team, like I don't know, like Taki's gonna be active. Like I think he's gonna be really motivated. Um, yeah, I think he's gonna be my number one finisher.
Okay, nice,
My
nice.
prediction. And number one team, Wholesome Chunguses.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go with ahead and say agree with the Wholesome Chungus as number one team, as we saw there.
Oh, Madware also Chile.
But I will say I'm not going to venture an individual person guess for the top player. I just haven't done my research on that. I would feel like I would be pulling a name out of a hat essentially. So I
Okay.
don't want to I don't want to go there. But I will say with your prediction, I will agree with the wholesome chunguses. And you said your top player was Mauier.
Yeah.
Um, I'll disagree there just to take the field. Any other player, gets number one. So um,
That's so reasonable. My
I,
God.
so
How is it even like a prediction? It's like I predict anyone but the one player
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. Well,
pick.
as it turns out, this is a show where we're trying to make predictions, and if the other person agrees with it or not. So, hey, I did take the field on literally the other prediction you just made. So come on.
I
Um,
guess so.
so all it means is that I disagree. That's all. I'm not going out on a limb here, certainly. All right. So I'll go ahead and give my first prediction, which is that the winning fantasy team does not have green Squeegee on it.
Okay.
I think that's pretty clear. We'll be able to look at the end and just say, hey, that's clear or not. Does the winning team have green Squeegee on it? I predict that they will not have green Squeegee on it. So that's my prediction. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I mean, Lion is in pretty solid first place. He's got Mauer, he's got SMC, who I think is a really underrated pick. Sol Erica, Nicholas C. Um, I feel like that is a really good team. And then the teams that do have Suiji right now are Seba 54, likely Lana, Von Jim in the top five. So pretty much like, are you actually most people outside of that have him. So like, are you predicting Lion or Alaris to win? I mean, Alaris is Alaris. He's gonna pick a pretty good team, but he also picked Raisin, so I don't think it's gonna be Alaris. I think it's gonna be Lion. So it's more like, are you predicting Lion to win or not?
Right, right.
And I would actually say yes. I think he picked a really good fantasy team, so I will agree with you.
Um, Okay, no, that's what I wanted to know. I'll be honest, I didn't quite do a lot of research on this, looking at what exactly the teams, like the top teams were and how many points were left to go and just how good they were.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of, I think that was just an interesting thing to see how many, Suigi that just kind of dominated the league. So I thought that would be an interesting prediction. My last prediction here, number two, again another I think boring one, but it's a team currently in the bottom 10 finishes in the top three.
Okay.
And so
Top
let's
three. That's bold. That's
That's
still
bold.
bold. I like
Thank you.
that.
Okay, thank you. I can go. I can have a bold prediction. Thank you very much. So to give a heads up, the bottom 10 teams at this moment, if I can count properly,
Out
should
sticks, Blonde Boys, the B Team, Raging Cajuns, Overcooked, Team Tabasco, Team Silly Goofy, the Mighty Fucks, Yoshi Fan Club 4, and Desinig's Widows.
yes, I believe one of those teams will finish in the top three by at the end of league.
I'm gonna disagree on that. I
I mean
think
that's totally fair.
top, one will end up in the top 10. Like I think, um, you know, between let's say, actually, who's all on the Mighty Fucks? I feel like there's no reason that you'll stay down there with your team, but
We got
I
Blue
think
Bob.
like
Yeah,
I think all the teams in the bottom 10 could get well, I don't know. I feel like Yoshi Fan Club 4 is actually kind of doomed this season.
yeah.
Um okay, I think Blonde Boys, Mighty Fox, and Team Tabascoth will finish top half. That's
Nice.
not very bold, but that's my prediction.
All right. No, well, not every prediction is meant to be bold. It's just meant to see how you we can go back on and see how you gauge the future. So um, that was my last prediction. I think are you wrapped up on your predictions?
Um,
We have time for probably
hmm.
one more if you
I
want, but
got
or we can move on.
I believe hold on, I got one prediction and it's cooking.
All right, all
It's
right,
cooking.
it's cooking.
All right.
Well, while you give that a second and prepare that, we're coming up to the end of the show. I just
Uh,
wanted to say thanks to everyone. Yeah, you ready?
yeah, okay, I'm actually gonna kind of go and say that my top 10 are is gonna be
Oh shit, we got a real prediction
Nicholas,
here.
Mauer, Nicholas. I don't know about Mr. Froggy. I'm gonna say skip him. I don't know. No, I'll say Mr. Froggy. He's fourth. Nicholas Mauer, Mr. Froggy. Dude, this just feels like I'm reading the top 10. And also we have to talk about the odd kind of elephant is Nelleo legit or is it like a fake name, which is probably a fake like name.
Right, I
So I don't,
understand.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Last I've
It's
heard
actually
is
wanted like a top 10 prediction. I think let me put it this way. I think people who are not in the top 10 who will end in the top 10 are SMC5
yep.
and then I think actually Taciturn.
Okay, that's solid picks. I picked SMT5 in fantasy, so I very much agree with you.
Okay.
But not Taciturn. So we'll revisit that then, see if they finish in the top 10. I think that's going to bring us to the end of this podcast episode. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We went over the league preview. Hopefully, you enjoyed the announcements at the top of the show for all the stuff going on in the community. Hopefully, you found the league preview and draft overview useful. Um, our next episode will be live from Pace. We're still working on the tech issues there, so I'm not sure if we'll be live from Pace or if we'll just record from Pace and have it uploaded afterwards. But we're definitely wanting to see all the league participants who are making it to Pace, all the captains there, get some interviews in. So that should be fun. We're still figuring out that episode, but that should air either live from Pace or soon after we get back. Um, yeah, I think they're so be sure to follow along here with Summer League Now. I'm putting the link to our first episode in chat right now. If you missed that, definitely check out our review of the first 16 teams in the league, including I believe both Padronis' team and my team. So our teams were talked about last time. And just some Club 100 shout outs. We have our 70-star tourney returning tomorrow. Group C is participating in their LTA session. They have 3 LTA sessions this week. They finished one yesterday. They'll continue their next tomorrow. And that is Group C, which is Jaquarium, Deku Dude, Zine 64, Tabby Storm, Sema N64, and Kaprusen. They are all very good. This is the group of death. You're not going to want to miss it, particularly Saturday, the last day at 3 p.m. Eastern is in the last session. You definitely want to tune in and see who advances. The top 2 advance, and yeah, group of death. One of the first, fourth, or sixth seeds will be eliminated. So definitely join us for that Thursday, tomorrow, and Saturday. And yeah, to follow along, everyone kind of racing the league, be sure to use PacePal Buddy. So with that, I think we're wrapped up. Anything else, Patronus? You want to say bye?
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you for being here with me, Padronis. As I was saying, or was starting to say, the initial idea for this podcast, I think, kind of came with, I was like, oh, it sucks that Padronis doesn't get to be here during the draft. I'd be curious about his thoughts on it. Like, we should get those. So I'm
Oh,
glad we got those.
thank you.
That's what that's how this all started, and now we're gonna wrap it up with 3 more episodes. So thank you, everyone. Let's figure out someone to raid and get the hell out of here.
All right.
So
Take
thanks,
care, everyone.
thanks everyone.